Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, and I have to say this is my very first video that I've ever done, so I'm a little nervous. um, as you know, like, my YouTube channel is just going to be faith-based. It's going to be Christian content, what it's like to walk it out for real. And so I hope that this video will be a blessing to you, and all of that jazz. Today I'm going to tell my testimony about me moving from South Carolina all the way to Texas. Yes, God instructed me to move here. So let's dig in. So I got the desire to move altogether in 2021. And I have notes here, so don't mind me looking down. But 2021, that's when I was like, really think I can really see myself moving into a city. And I remember I have a video recording, and I was just like, I'm going to move in a city, and it's going to be I'm going to live downtown, and I'm going to just be doing all this stuff. More of the story, I was like, I'm moving somewhere, okay? So in 2021, I had got married, and it didn't take long, but we broke up later on in that year because he went to basic training and all of that, and I was still home and all of that, and so we broke up in 2021. So I got married in April. I would say by October, November, we were like, yeah, we shouldn't have did this. And I guess that's a whole nother video. I'm not really ready to talk about that part of my life yet, because God is still healing me from a lot of things and all of that. But anyway, so broke up in 2021. 2021 was also the same year that I was like, yeah, really think I'm gonna move, okay? So into 2022, I was going through a lot of depression, a ton of depression. I was actually going through therapy at the time. So I chopped all my hair off in February of 2022, okay? Met a guy, start dating him. It was a horrible relationship, didn't last long. And at that point, it seemed like I was searching for something, but just couldn't really figure it out. But I never forgot about moving to Texas, okay? So let's just keep that on the back of our mind. So we broke up, bad breakup, like I said, we broke up in June. So at that point, after we broke up, it was like, I'm starting to see like more and more stuff about moving. And I know y'all probably have seen the videos where, I see a bunch of Texas license plate. And it's not even the fact that I was even looking for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, I wanted to move, but, I was just like, I start seeing more and more Texas license plates. So I was just like, God, what you think about Texas? I mean, what is out there in Texas? I had no clue, but I just knew that I started seeing more and more stuff about Texas. So in July, I go to a women's conference with a friend girl, and while I'm there, sure enough, I get prophesied to that I'm going to be moving to new territory. Now, the amazing thing about this is that I feel like if you're moving, God will give you a story in the Word that really relates to you, right? So I thought about Abraham when he was Abram, and God tells him, hey, pack all your things up, get your wife and all of that, and move from your father's house. So I really was studying that, and I was just like, okay, God, like, cool, like, whenever you want to do it, you'll do it. I wasn't as like, okay, God, like, how are you gonna do this? Like, I'm ready to move now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was fine. Like, I had a good job. And really, at the time, I couldn't figure out how that would even be possible to happen soon anyway. Because I had my dad, you know, he was living with me. I was taking care of him because I was his caregiver, had a good job, and this, that, and the third. So, you know, at the time that I got prophesied to that I was moving, it was just kind of like, I just don't see how this is going to work out. You know, maybe this is, you know, years down the road. You know what I'm saying? So, after that, I remember I was, after that, try to work on things with my ex. That did not work out. And I remember I have notes in my phone. So on July 7th, 2022, I wrote a list of things that I felt like God was telling me to do. So I wrote down, take a leave of absence, sell everything and pay a year in advance for rent, visit Dallas to get a feel, figure out how to get situated, pay off debt. And I said, God had told me that once my dad was placed in a new facility, that I would be moving. So July last year, it was a lot. I feel like God was telling me a lot of things. Even in that time, he told me to get boxes. It was so specific. I remember God was just like, I want you to get 7 small boxes and 7 medium boxes. Or it was like 7 medium boxes and 7 large boxes. And I want you to put non-perishable items in. I want you to put canned goods. I want you to put toilet paper. I want you to put like cleaning products. I want you to put hygiene products, pads and wipes and soap and all of these different things in these boxes. So little by little, every paycheck, I used to get paid every 2 weeks. So on each paycheck, I would get $100 worth of non-perishable items. So even though I felt like God was telling me to move, I still decided to buy a brand new living room suit. Why? Because I guess it was like I felt like I was telling me to move, but at the same time, it was like he'll tell me it and then I don't hear anything else. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm just, I'm just going to get me a new living room suit. So I bought a brand new living room suit. It was over $3,000. It was gorgeous. It was so pretty. Shortly after that, God told me to give it to a family that had lost everything they had in the house fire. And I was just like, God, is it you saying that? Or is it just me? Because the math is not math in God. Like, and anytime that I felt that I've heard God, I feel it. Like I have these really, really strong feelings. And I was like, okay, God, like, I'm just going to pray about it. And then he'll always confirm it in some kind of supernatural way. So come the middle of July, I have here 7/13/2022. God told me that the move would be the smoothest, easiest, most peaceful move or transition in my life. And I will have enough money to move because this was a concern. It was truly a concern. I was like, God, like, okay, at this point, I've watched enough YouTube videos and I've built up my courage to be like, okay, I'm moving. Didn't know when, but I was just like, okay, at that point, I was just like, okay, your girl is moving to Texas. Dallas, Texas at that. Or just Texas. Let's just say just Texas. Okay, so I was just like, okay, I'm just going to trust God at his word and whoop, that's how it's going to be. So as time progresses, I had relationships fail, friendships fail. I even had medical scares that came out of nowhere. When I say like everything was falling apart, I felt like everything was falling apart. You know what I'm saying? In the medical scare, it was just so random. I've never had any issues with any health problems, but then all of a sudden they're like, oh, you have cysts on your ovaries. And I plead the blood of Jesus over my body. And I was like, no, I don't. And shortly after that, I got, a CT scan, couldn't find nothing. It was just like the most bizarre stuff was happening in the months leading up to me moving. Okay, cool. And granted, the number 7, which is in the month of July, that means completion. So a lot of things happened. Like a lot of things were coming to an end. Seemed like everything was falling apart for me. Let's be honest. Everything seemed like it was falling apart for me. So I was like, okay, God, like, cool. So August hits. We know that 8 means what? New beginnings. You said it. Tell me why I get a phone call about my dad. And they're like, Miss Cannon, he has been approved for him to be placed in a facility, and it'll be covered with his Medicaid, Medicare, whatever. And not only that, ma'am, you have 30 days to find him a facility. I was like, hold up, God. Like, wait a minute. Okay. This is happening too fast. I was so happy and I was so excited because remember, I told you that God told me that after my dad moves, I would be moving. Cool. So we found a facility within a week. It wasn't even a full week later and we found a facility. And my dad got moved in September. So this was August. We found a place, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna let him stay for, let him stay for the rest of the month. Then we'll start fresh in September. And my dad was moved out by September. That was crazy. October, I took a lot of trips. I went to New Orleans. I went on a missions trip, which God had told me that the year before in October that he was telling me, he was just like, learn a new language. And it was like Spanish or whatever. And I was just like, okay. A couple months later, my godmom was like, we're going on a mission trip to South America. You want to come? Of course I want to come. Like it was just amazing. So went on those trips, had a great time. Went to New Orleans, had a great time. So I'm just still going about my daily life. So October, November, around that time, I start to wonder, how in the world is all of this going to come together? Like, how is now, you remember I said, like, before it was like, okay, guys, it's going to happen, but I don't really know how. By October, November, I was like, okay, God, my dad has moved out. So, like, how, or, like, how is this going to come together? Like, I was afraid because I went through a complete wild stage, like, a couple years prior. So, I didn't really trust myself to move to such a big state. I was afraid that I would be lonely. I was afraid that I wasn't going to get acclimated to my area well. I had just got promoted on my job to a new position, and it was not within the framework of the, Texas was not within the footprint of the job. So that was completely out the picture. I was just nervous that I wouldn't be disciplined in the big state of Texas. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, I joined a church. Now, this is the thing, I knew that God had told me, oh, you're going to move. But I still was trying to make permanent decisions when I really felt like everything was coming to an end. There were certain moments in my life during this time that I was just like, I kept having this feeling like, just let go. Just let go. Just let it go, So I have here my notes. I was like, I could feel that things were coming to an end. Felt like God was telling me that I would move in April. Now, I remember it was so random. I was talking to my friend girl. I was like, April. I was like, I'm moving in April. Like I said, when God speaks to me, he speaks to me in such a way like there's a knowing. Like, I can take it to the bank. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, I don't know how I know this, but I just know. And I remember telling 2 of my friends, I was just like, girl, April. I'm moving in April. I don't know how, but it's going to be in April. So I wasn't exactly sure. So I just feel like God was telling me that. So time is still progressing. It seemed like I said, everything seemed like it was falling apart. So, I tried to visit Texas twice. I tried to go on my birthday, which was in December, and I was just like, I got sick on the day that I was supposed to go, so I couldn't go. So, I was getting, frustrated, right? I was just like, I'm not understanding. God, you said that I was going to move. Like, why does it seem like everything is just not coming together, the way it's supposed to? Fast forward to 2023. Let me tell you what happened. January, I got divorced. It was officiated. It was divorced. We got our divorce finalized. I bought a new car. Now, mind you, I had a paid off car, but I still bought a new car. Why did I do that when I know that God told me that I was moving? I don't know. I guess I was bored. I don't know. And then I went to a conference. It was great. It was for church. And that was the month of January. So, we're still going, still progressing. I'm healing. God is doing some things in my life. I wasn't in therapy anymore. I was really just taking it day by day. There's not much that really happened other than those 3 things in that month. Let go of things, just really allow myself to just trust God. Come February, I did a 3-day Esther fast. It was amazing. It was a dry fast. Now, mind you, it was a dry fast, but I got weak on the second day. So I was just like, okay. I had like a cup and a half of a smoothie. And I was like, okay, that's it. But I did a 3-day Esther fast. God moved. He worked. And I was just so I just felt so uplifted and so powerful. That feeling where you're just like, oh my God, like I'm just in awe. And then I had started my prayer line back in January. So like I did 21 days of prayer. It was amazing because I was just so happy to be back in the will of God because I do pray. And I was just like, God, like, I want to do this, and this time I'm going to do it for real. So, like, I had started my ministry back, and I was just really bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Well, February 14th, the next week, I get fired from my job. And the emotions that I felt, I was so confused. I was so blindsided. I didn't understand why. It was like I was almost set up. Like when the manager told me that I got fired, she was so happy to deliver that news. Like she was grinning. She was like, well, we made a decision that we're going to fire you. I mean, she was just so happy. And I was just like, ma'am, like, you really don't like me. And then I was looking at God. I was just like, bro, like I literally just did a 3-day Esther fast. And you couldn't have ran that by me. Like I was upset. You know what I'm saying? And, but even after that, God gave me this peace. He gave me this peace. And there's a story in the Bible of Elijah when he has done all these great things and he's killed the prophets of Baal, and Ahab is after him. He outruns Ahab. Jezebel sends a word that you're gonna die. And he comes to this place where he's just like, God, like at this point, I just want to die. Because I mean, like, I'm the only one left here. Like, it's ghetto. I don't understand. I done did all this stuff. I'm the only one that's standing for you. Everybody else is gone. What in the world? God tells him, you take a nap, go to sleep, eat some food, rest. And then he tells him to get up, go to this brook. I'm going to have ravens send you food. And then I want you to drink water at the brook. So he does this. But when the brook dried up, this is the part that always got me. When the brook dried up, it was time for him to move. God told him to go to the next place. When I lost my job, I knew that my brook had dried up in South Carolina. I knew it. Like, it was such a knowing. And obviously, I have women of God that's in my life that has really helped me along the way. But when I say, like, I knew like my time was up in South Carolina. And it was the most sentimental moment that I had, because I felt like I had been pushed into this. Like, I didn't ask, like, I knew that God was going to do it, but I didn't know it would end like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that, I would get up in a high position, stay on my job for many, many years, and then, have favor to stay working from home and this, that, and the third. So that was not the case. And the emotions that I felt, God gave me peace. He gave me a knowing. I couldn't apply, like, even when I applied for jobs in South Carolina, I would never hear anything back. So then I have a friend that actually did the same thing many years prior, just moved to Texas. And she said, start applying for jobs in Texas. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, this is really happening. Like, this soon, God, like, what in the world, And you guys, when I tell you from February to April, that was the quickest transition I have ever. And when I tell you, it was the smoothest, it was the quickest, it was the most peaceful transition getting to Texas. So March comes. I cash out my 401k. I pay off my debt. I go to Dallas to visit for a couple of days. I have interviews for some jobs. I had connected with a relocator. She sent me some apartments. I found one particular apartment that I was just like, oh my gosh, like, this is it. This is the one. And I got a rental, got a hotel, and I just decided to just engulf myself in it. And while I was here, I was nervous. Like, I didn't hear God telling me anything when I came out to visit. And that made me a little nervous because I was just like, oh my gosh, I watched all these other YouTube videos where people was like literally saying that God confirmed it as soon as they stepped foot in Texas. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, God, like, I don't like hear you saying anything. I'm out here. Like, why am I out here? What is it out here that you want me to do? Like, and that's like, I still don't know why I'm out here. But that's going to be another video when I find out what God has me out here for. But it was just merely like a step of faith, like a leap of faith, where I literally just jumped and I said, oh my gosh, like, here we are. I'm just, and granted, it was scary. The hardest part of me moving was me breaking the news to my family, mostly my mama, and my friend group, and my granny. That was really hard for me to like tell people like I'm leaving in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just try to stay encouraged by watching other people's testimony. There's a Bible verse that says, oh gosh, don't let me mess it up. It goes like, it's like it's in James, not just being hearers of the word, but doers of the word. And basically, when you understand and digest the word, it builds up your faith. I'm so off. I'm so sorry. So that really helped me really build up my faith. And like I said, the hardest part was letting my family know that I was moving, because I love my family. You know what I'm saying? And that was really, really hard for me. So fast forward, that was February, March. Now let's talk about March to April 1st, because April 1st was the day that I actually got here to Texas. March to April, God continued to tell me to fill up boxes. God continued to tell me, just give me specific instructions what to do with my money. Paid off stuff, like I said. And I sold everything. Like, I had a big yard sale. I got rid of everything. Really everything that I had would have furnished this whole apartment. But when I tell you, I got rid of my bedroom suite, I got rid of my living room suite, I got rid of TVs, I got rid of entertainment centers, I got rid of deep freezers, I got rid of clothes, shoes. I got rid of so many different things that it was just like, what in the world? You know what I'm saying? And mind you, when I came to Texas, I did not have a job, and I had not got approved. When I came to Texas for the first time, by the time I left, I still didn't have a job, and I still didn't get approved for an apartment. Between March and April, got approved for an apartment, and I got approved for the apartment that I wanted. And it's a nice luxury apartment. The apartment that I'm in now, it's in Frisco. It's not in Dallas, but I'm still out here in Texas. Maybe I'm supposed to move to Dallas, but I'm out here in Texas and got the apartment I wanted. Every bill has been paid. Every need has been met. I have not gone hungry. If I want to get my hair done, I can. If I want to get my nails done, I can. Like, God has exceeded my expectations. And if I had a chance to do it again, I certainly would. When I packed my stuff up, I had my car jacked up in the back, took the road trip from South Carolina to Georgia to Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and then we got to Texas. It took like 18 or 19 hours. It took longer than what it should because filling up on gas, taking breaks, restroom breaks, and all of that. And the rest was history. On the ride down here, the tire on the U-Haul blew out 3 times. I got the full refund for the U-Haul, so I didn't even basically pay for the U-Haul at all. My mom and my friend came, helped me move in. It was such a blessing. By the time by the time I packed up the last box, like, God was like, yep, time to move. And when I say, like, God kept, throughout this whole process, God kept showing me license plates. I remember one day I went in Hobby Lobby and I was just walking around looking at stuff. And I look up, I was looking at something. I think it was like home decor stuff. I look up and it's like a big fat sign says Texas. Like, this was the most supernatural move that I've ever done. And if you feel, I think my message here today, because honestly, like, I have not shared this testimony that many times. This is actually my first time, well, my second time sharing it, but this is my first time, like, sharing it on my channel. Like, I really think that if you are watching this video and you feel a tug and a pull on your heart by God that is telling you that it's time to pack your stuff up and leave, do it. Do it. Do it. This was the best decision that I ever made in my life. Like, yes, I have less friends. Yes, I get bored sometimes because I'm not used to peace, which is a whole nother video. Yes, I mean, I had to start over from scratch. When I moved here, I didn't have a living room suite. I didn't have a bedroom suite. I slept on the floor in my living room. And it wasn't even but like a week. I bought a brand new bedroom suite. The Lord blessed me to where I got approved to buy a new living room suite. I got an entertainment center. I got a brand new TV. I mean, all things new. All things new. I had got a job and it turned out I didn't like it. It was door-to-door sales. I was just like, this is not for me. And I just quit it after like working there like for a week. I was just like, this is just not for me. And then God blessed me with a job in mortgages, which is something that I've been doing for the past like over 3.5 years. And I'm excelling on my job. It's easy to me. Like, they're thinking about promoting me. And I'm just like, I haven't even been there, but I haven't even been on the phones a month. Like, it's just so, I'm just so grateful, you know, and I feel like God is saying that this is just the beginning. As much as he's blown my mind. And I remember telling God, I was just like, I want all that you have for me. I don't want to settle anymore. And has it come with sacrifice? Absolutely. I've had to let go of people that I really love. Really, really love. But I gave it to God and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go head first. And I don't regret it at all. So I hope that this video helped be a testimony. My testimony helped bless someone else. I will be uploading more videos. And I'm really excited about what God's going to do on this YouTube channel. He has pressured me within the last week. Upload your testimony. And I was just going to be obedient. Obedience is better than sacrifice. So That is all. Bye.